Just conclude according to what is given. Be thorough with it. Concludes for samsara and everything, not for taking within itself. Just open up widely. Not attached even to the non-attachment itself. Not attached even to the non-attachment itself. Simultaneously, altogether. Simultaneously. Achieve the perfection of parami according to Nirodha and Nibbāna. Not in a way of like this or like that. Is to be given for samsara. Open up widely, thoroughly. Not attached even to the non-attachment itself. Helping through unwinding and releasing. For everything, helping through unwinding and releasing. Disengage even from disengaging itself, helping through unwinding and releasing. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Not attached even to the non-attachment itself. This is the conclusion of Nirodha and Nibbāna. Keep on opening widely. Don't let the perfection in this way or that way, according to the karmic difficulties of the perfection. That is karmic cycle. In the past, there is no blessing, just taking individually within oneself, no blessing. Not become one with samsara. All the perfections, all the great perfections, they are one with samsara, with all beings. What that means, the oneness? It means equally sharing the emptiness and the extinction, not in this way or that way. Not in the way of using traditional belief in this way or that way, in varieties of belief values. The Buddhas have no methods and ways with samsara at all. For the Buddhas, only purification of the extinction and the emptiness, sharing for samsara, that is the ultimate of the blessing of great compassion and compassion, is the ultimate of helping through ending for samsara. Therefore, the parami or the perfection is to be shared diligently for all beings. Then one will not be troubled by the perfection because it has two blades. Whenever it's taken to oneself, it's gonna hurt oneself. Instead, if one is sharing the perfection, it will not become suffering within oneself. The perfection is a kind of karma as well. When blessing, you need to look at the Buddhas. The Buddhas purify through the extinction and the emptiness, not using any methods and ways. Helping people in this way and that way is the form of paying back of the karmic difficulties. When there is karmic difficulties, then one has to pay back. If not, they don't have to pay back. However, the blessing equivalently is the purification of Nibbāna for samsara, not attached to the non-attachment itself, is the purification of the emptiness for samsara. In blessing, there is no methods and ways. Methods and ways are the form of karmic difficulties, of paying back the karmic difficulties. It won't happen in such a way when it's not a karmic difficulty. We have to shift into the essence of giving ending for samsara. Disengage even from disengaging itself simultaneously with everything, not attached to the non-attachment itself for everything simultaneously. Use Nirodha and Nibbāna for the blessing. Make a conclusion with the implication of Nirodha and Nibbāna. Then samsara will follow accordingly. To use the belief in this way or that way is the karma. Don't use it. The belief that is not giving ending, don't use it. Use something that gives ending to the belief itself, to any ideas. Use the reminders that give ending to themselves. If not, don't use them with samsara. Otherwise, it will become karma. Any terminologies or any opinions that don't give themselves ending, don't use them. Otherwise, they're going to become karma. So that it will be ending, to help ending altogether. Opinions and meanings that are having varieties without ending in themselves, don't use them. Otherwise, it's gonna become karma and karmic difficulties. Use the truth of Nirodha and Nibbāna for samsara instead. The truth of Nirodha and Nibbāna. Use it with samsara. Don't use belief values in this way or that way. It's the karma and karmic difficulties that will follow. If you think all over about everything with samsara, it will also moving about everywhere for samsara. It's endless. It becomes karma within thoughts that is continue endlessly. Blessing as Buddhas, having no separation, there is no complications at all. But when there are separations, it's because of karma that is destined. That's why there are separation of groups, of parties. It's just the compensation between parties. The blessing of the Buddhas purify all parties, all separations among each other. So use these keynotes for the purification of samsara. Parties have karma, collective karma among themselves. That's why there are parties. Karma that are not good among one another because they have debts among themselves. But debts of gratitude are about good karma helping one another back and forth. This is the consequences that destine each other to be like parties. However, helping each other back and forth is not yet the true blessing. The true blessing has to be the purification of the emptiness and extinction for one another. Therefore, we need to use the keynotes for everything, not attached even to the non-attachment itself. For everything, not attached even to the non-attachment itself. Disengage even from disengaging itself for everything. This is cutting within the cutting itself. Put down even the putting down itself. Let go of the letting go itself for everything. Not attached even to the non-attachment itself for everything. Use these keynotes well. Then it will be coverage through this purification of the extinction and the emptiness. There will be no parties, no separations. Otherwise, it's going to be parties of compensation of karma among one another. Use this inspiration of these keynotes because it is the brightness that is given for samsara. Shift the blessing towards the essence of the Buddhas. The form of supporting to one another in this way and that way is the form of karmic difficulties that they have to compensate for one another. The true blessing is the purification of the emptiness only from the Buddhas. Therefore, instantly blessed through the emptiness. Disengage even from disengaging itself simultaneously. Let go of the letting go itself simultaneously. Put down the putting down itself altogether simultaneously. The emptiness doesn't grasp itself altogether simultaneously. For the Buddhas is the purification of the emptiness. To practice mindfulness and contemplation is a karmic difficulties because they are paying back from their rejection towards the Buddha's teachings. It's the form of compensation towards their karmic difficulties. It has nothing to do with Nibbāna or liberation of suffering. It's a form of karmic difficulties, payback of their karma. Just like in the past they reject to the truth of Nibbāna. Just like if they used to reject, they will come back and have faith. This is the form of karmic difficulties in the form of faith, which has nothing to do with Nibbāna. Nibbāna or the enlightenment has nothing to do with anything, has nothing to do with faith or disfaith. Nibbāna is not Nibbāna itself. Just like the emptiness is not the emptiness itself.